Hey everyone, this is Tim. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're staying safe. I'm curious as to how you're spending your time. I've been trying to look for interesting things to do, and I've been watching YouTube, the Treasure Hunt Foodies, and there are a couple from Louisiana, and recently they showcased an Indian restaurant that takes place at a gas station. But out of that, we see some amazing food that's cooked in a tandoor. That's a traditional clay, Indian clay oven, where the food comes out sizzling and smoky and charred and juicy. So I know we can't really go out and eat, at least not for a little while. So the next best thing is to cook your own Indian food. And the only way to do that is to build your own tandoor. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And I looked it up online and it seems pretty straightforward. You don't need a lot of stuff. And hopefully even with my skills in my small little condo here, I can do so. All I have is 2 big flower pots, clay pots, about 17 inches, a container to hold the pots in. This is just a garbage can, and some insulation and vermiculite here. So the concept is pretty straightforward. You take one of these pots at the bottom, take another one, invert it on top, and that is your oven cavity. Then we'll cut off the top using my little rotary tool here and lift it up to get some airflow going. Put some coals in and we'll dangle some nice skewers in here, and that's it. Sounds pretty simple in concept, that is. We'll see. Let's see if this little rotary tool is a match for cutting this clay pot here. Let's give it a go. I've been using the sanding discs to sand off the clay material, but a better approach would be to use one of these, a carbide tile cutting bit, and that can just grind through all the materials, or use an angle grinder. So these little sanding discs just didn't cut it, pun intended. They weren't wide enough to cut through all that material, so in the end I had to take a screwdriver and a hammer to knock out the remaining material. Okay. All right, so let's give that a try. All right, lots of patience, but not too bad. All right, we got the top. So that was a bit of work. So I think now we can assemble. It should be pretty quick. All right, so in the garbage can, we put a little hole here to get some airflow, and I've got this little round planter roller to allow this to roll around. Let's put that down here. All right, so there we go. Put pot number 1 inside. And then the second half on top. It's our lid. And we'll fill this up with vermiculite, very lightweight. Vermiculite isn't just lightweight, it's also fireproof, so a perfect substance to hold these pots in place and insulate the whole thing. It also concentrates all the heat on the inside. All right, so with all that work, it looks like we need one more bag of vermiculite. You know, this took a lot longer than I thought. I was mainly cutting through the top. That's taking a while, but we're almost there. We're at the home stretch. So if you're thinking of doing this, get an angle grinder. That little rotary tool just didn't cut it. All right, so here we go. Now it doesn't need to go all the way to the top, and one of the reasons I cut the lid so high, so far off the bottom, or so far off the top, is that I can put a garbage can lid over this, so when it gets windy, this stuff doesn't blow away. It's really light. Fill that up some more, and this will settle as we go. All right, perfect. All right, so we're finally there, and I can't wait to light the first fire. And what I've done is I've got a few of these clay stands, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these racks on top, so they sit on top of the platform of the oven and give some airflow for the coals to light up on top. All right, let's put that in. Throw this one in here. We'll put the other three here like that. And in goes our rack. There we go. And I think we're ready for the coals. And before doing that, I'm going to put some these fire starters. Rip a little bit of chunk off here. I'll light up the fire starters first. Where was it? There it is. And then we'll fill it with some more coals. And then we'll put the lid on. One really important thing I forgot to mention is I got a clay plate that goes underneath the oven so that it catches all the embers and ashes. Slip that in there. Ooh, it's a lot of work, and I'm getting hungry. And there it is, my trash can makeshift tandoori oven, steaming away. If you peek through the hole, you can see the embers or the coals lighting up, firing it up. Glad to have this done, but it took a lot longer than I thought. Really happy to stick with it and actually get it done. So it's as you can see, it's getting quite late, and I'm tired. I'm going to go to McDonald's, but I'm going to let this go through its first burn, see how it fares, and tomorrow let's come back and let's get some real food in the tandoor. So again, thank you, and I'll just let this burn away. It's a new day and I've rested up. It was quite tiring putting this thing together, but it's gone through its first burn, and I didn't want to leave you without actually cooking some food in it. So I think we're going to light this up and we're going to try some food. Some tandoori chicken, of course, some chicken malai, nice and spicy. We'll try some veggies on it. And I've got some naan bread that's proofing up, so I can't wait to give those a try in here as well. So let's light it up and get to some eating. So same as last time, I'm gonna put some fire starter. I'll give it a light before adding the coals. They light really well. Throw the coals in. And I'll put the lid on to let it slowly light up. So what I noticed from last time is if I take the lid off, it lights up really, really quickly and it gets really hot, over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. You keep the lid on, it controls the flow, and you can control the temperature that way too. So I'm just gonna let this light up for about 20 minutes and I'm gonna start preparing the food. So this is a lot of food. I'm gonna do a skewer of the tandoori chicken. So I got a chance to work in India a while ago and got to enjoy all the nice food. I'm gonna put a chicken in here. We'll put the bigger pieces, the thigh, near the bottom. Put a big pepper at the bottom. This is probably gonna fall out anyways. And then let's try the chicken malai. So this is the yogurt spicy chicken. So the tandoor is heating up quite nicely, and when you see the coals have that white ash and there's no more black to it, I think it's ready to go. And when we take the lid off, it gets pretty high. Let's see if we aim it to the wall. It's about 800 degrees, and if I was to leave it on a little longer, it's probably going to reach 1,000 degrees. So I'm going to place a skewer to hang the chicken on, the tandoori chicken. Hang it right here. Okay. Next is a Malai chicken. Hang it down here as well. And I've got a basket of vegetables, some eggplant, zucchini, red peppers, and these are shishito peppers, really nice roasted. So I left the big ones at the bottom, and I'll dangle that down. And we already have a casualty. That pepper fell down, which I knew it would. So to control the heat somewhat, we're gonna put the lid on, and that should stop the airflow, allowing this to cook at a more reasonable temperature. Okay, so it's been a little while, about 15 minutes. Let's take a look how the chicken is doing. Just gonna hook the lid, move it there. Wow. Ooh. Looking pretty good. Nice and charred. Maybe a few more minutes. It's been about 20-25 minutes and it's smoking away. And you see I've put a plate on it to cover the hole because it was just getting a little too hot. Let me grab the gloves. All right, so our first skewer. Whoa, look at, oh boy. Look at that. Oh, it's hot, even through the gloves. All right, very hot. This one is a little bit more charred than I like. I think the last one is a goner. Not too bad. I think we got one and a half skewers out of 2. And the veggies do look fantastic. I did have to take them out a little earlier. They were cooking up a little too quickly. And I'm gonna continue with the lid off so that it gets a chance to heat up. And then we can try the naan. So just about 1,000 degrees. So I've rolled out the naan. I think they usually have a pillow. I'm just gonna use a tea towel. Put it on. And I'm just gonna wet it with some water so that it'll stick. All right. So a tandoor is pretty hot. Just a little concerned about putting my arm in there. So let's give it a try. Oh gosh, that is hot. Oh, and it's looking good. It's bubbling up. Oh, it's getting crispy. I just saw it pull away, so hopefully it doesn't fall. Let's see. Wow, it's really stuck. It doesn't fall in. Beautiful. Nice char. And very toasty. So the sun is setting. It's an enjoyable day cooking all this food. So I think I'm going to try the naan first. Right, let's cut this up into a few pieces. Oh, you can hear the crunch. Well, let's take the middle piece. I just wish there was some gravy or a curry. Very nice. Buttery, crispy, and fluffy on the inside. I forgot to mention I put quite a bit of butter on the naan. Extra tasty. And let's try the shishito peppers. Shishito peppers with a little bit of olive oil and salt. Charred, really tasty. And finally the chicken. Again, all hands. Chicken is very tender and juicy. And it's a little bit of spice. I put quite a bit of Kashmiri peppers in there to give it that kick and that redness. Really tasty. Very nice. So I'm going to continue finishing this up, and I just want to thank you so much for joining, and thank you for indulging me in my silly little projects. A lot of bad news out there, but really appreciative that we're doing our small, easy part and not just being isolated. And even then, it's great to connect with each other. I'm doing another, not sure if you can see, but I'm doing another batch of chicken in the back. So hopefully this time I know how to control the heat so I get 100% of the chicken. But until we see each other again, I wish you all the best. Take care, God bless, and keep well. Cheers.